I remember sitting here in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
together.
Josh, let's see if anybody else on the line. I know Brock has helped us out with some stuff that we did in Maryland, and Brock's been involved with RiverSHARED for a while on things, and Mike's been involved with RiverSHARED since the idea started, and Paula's been involved. So maybe more than a recap, it's more just, hey, what are some additional things that other people on the line might propose as being something valuable for RiverSHARED to be to the industry, opposed to kind of just sharing our thoughts right now.
Yeah, hear what you just said, Dave. Open the floor, Brock and Mike and others, please. Maybe if you're stuck muted, maybe Brock's making breakfast too. There he is.
Yeah, I was stuck. Couldn't even find the Zoom. I got so many tabs open. I can't even find the Zoom tab.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Brock. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I don't mind. I mean, I just I mean to come every Monday, but it seems like it never really happens. So I apologize. I mean to be more involved, but I don't have a whole lot to offer except I'm looking forward to kind of catching up and seeing where you guys are at. So it's kind of good timing for today, I guess.
All right. Well, and a couple of things, I think last week we had a company in Fort Collins that wants to do mentoring and training for AutoCAD. They found out that they lose a lot of money when they try to create plan sheets. So they're trying to just optimize how they're doing their processes for CAD and GIS. But with that, we're going to start a RiverSHARED virtual training course from that mentor and of that group, which is called Alaterra in Fort Collins. So if there's anybody else on the line that has young people or people that deal with drafting that kind of blow budgets constantly, become pretty inefficient, that's kind of the people we're looking for this one. If you're really good at doing drafting, you probably don't need to attend this one unless you want to help teach, and that'd be great too. So
When is that one, Dave?
we're gonna start it next Friday, but it will all be virtual content. So if somebody's like, I really want that for one of my employees, but I can't have them be available every Friday afternoon for 12 weeks, they can just come on to RiverSHARED and get the content through RiverSHARED, and then sign up for it at their pace.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good offering. A lot of people find themselves that way, slow for a couple of weeks, and then then they got to put something down and pick something else up.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to binge AutoCAD it, they could binge AutoCAD for like 3 lessons in a row or something. I've never heard anybody say that before, but I think it should be a good term to use. Our hope is that we're going to be teaching an advanced AutoCAD optimization course with Rochester University. Mike Gilman will be the lead instructor on it. I'll be assisting him, and others will be assisting him. And that will be a week-long kind of gathering and course at the Rochester University campus in Michigan in early June. So if somebody was able to sit through these introductory courses, it should get them to a point where where they would be at a high enough level where they could get value out of that advanced course.
Mike, you want to plug that course at all? What are your topics that you're excited about?
Sorry, I'm trying to get the kids out the door right now. Okay?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I would have jumped in earlier. It's just I got one of them yelling at me.
No, Mike, it's cool, man. I think next week we're changing to be in the closer to noon, so we can talk more about that next week when the time gets closer to noon. I think that will be easier for some people.
Yeah, we could do maybe one of these talks where we can sit through, because I mean I have ideas for the agenda, but it'd be great to get other people's input as well. So maybe we do a Monday call about putting together agenda together, so we can get input other than just me and you.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds good. Maybe I'll crash through those entry courses and see where that puts me, and then I can be at least a data point for
Yeah, just gotta binge it.
yeah, I binge
Get
it.
your
I got
get your binge on.
binge CAD over the weekend. What'd you do?
We'll create
Binge CAD, CAD
we'll create
binge,
we'll create t-shirts for the course that says binge it.
binge it. No, that'd be good. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's great.
Yeah, but no, we're definitely excited about the course. There's been people around Michigan and the state that are looking for more advanced CAD training as well. So I think we'll be able to fill the class. It's exciting for the state as well. So we're gonna get the Great Lakes Fisheries Commission to sponsor it. So they'll be a big part of it, and they want to continue to do not only CAD training, but they want to do geomorphic training and field training as well. So we'll just kind of build off of that as the year goes on.
Dave, do you have any do you have a solicitation or advertisement toward those two courses I can start to post and share?
The one course I shared with you this morning, because it just came up on Friday. And then the one in Michigan, we don't have an advertisement yet because we have to decide exactly how we want to structure it. And that's something that we probably want to refine. You know how it goes with courses. A lot of times what you want to teach a year ago isn't the same as what you want to teach today. So
yeah, no, you guys have the ability and competency to be flexible like that. Maybe see how the first course goes and see, gauge off of that.
well, a couple things we're pretty excited about for this course. Mike Gilman and Chris Fiber had made some amazing relationships with Rochester University, and they're offering the facilities free of charge to RiverSHARED for this course. So it will be lodging at the university. It'll be kind of more of a camp type setting than a standard training course, which should allow us to really be able to pour into people even after hours and be able to kind of answer questions. We expect it to be a pretty intensive course in the sense that, if you're like, hey, I only want to put in 8 hours a day, you'll probably have opportunities to be connected to a lot more than 8 hours a day of training. But you won't have to be traveling back and forth for it. It won't be hard to find lodging unless you don't want to stay at the dorms. So
binge camp.
Binge camp.
That sounds awesome. No, really, just staying up all night and working on CAD.
It sounds fun to me.
It does.
Anyways.
It does sound fun.
Anyways, and of course, all of this CAD is all related to process-based natural corridor restoration design, which is essentially saying natural channel design on a process-based. So using MCDA, looking at the processes that are most important, then trying to optimize it, and then also incorporating corridors into the design opposed to just the channel design. So that means corridors for geomorphic belt widths and fluvial hazard zones, as well as greenways, bike trails, and utility corridors that have to be associated with them if it's in an urban setting. So we're trying to, that's kind of what Leah talked about back in October. This idea of process-based natural corridor designs is kind of what we're trying to focus the industry on. Try to encourage people to look at the idea and say, hey, we've had value from this area, we have value from this area. We don't really have to think of it as being two separate camps. Let's just all come together at binge camp and learn how to do this better. So
that's awesome. Are you gonna teach AutoCAD how to do SQT also?
Yeah, well, we actually work SQT into the MCDA analysis, and then we'll optimize for the SQT through the MCDA analysis in AutoCAD, which sounds like a whole bunch of words, but it's actually.
I was joking.
Yeah.
You're joking too, right?
No, I actually wasn't joking.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Caution with the SQT. Caution. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that one. That's another subject that maybe we can have Will come on here in a couple weeks.
I was trying to make a joke. No, I don't criticize SQT. I find its application in the agency circles are a little bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, and SQT for folks that aren't on, I think most people know it online, but it's stream quantification tool. It's a functional assessment tool that Will Harmon and others have put together to try to say this is how valuable a stream is. So if you destroy a stream that's not a really nice stream, then you shouldn't have to repair a stream that's a really nice stream. And if you destroy a stream that's a really nice stream, you should have to repair a stream that's a really nice stream.
So you guys are aware of verifiers, right? When it comes to carbon sequestration, they're trying to have verifiers and move toward, a more robust system. Do you think that is it?
I am not familiar with that term, Josh, verifiers, and I just don't know enough about carbon sequestration. But I want to find a guy that does. If you're that guy,
I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that heard something.
Okay.
But
well,
no,
maybe we need to find a guy that does know that, or
there's a third. They require a third-party verification, and that's not to say that greenwashing isn't happening, right? So the third-party verification enables some sort of a like a non-government continuity, and somebody claiming credits is actually getting those credits. And I know that's a big concern with the agencies, and the agencies are supposed to be non-invested in what goes on. Like if it happens or doesn't happen, it should not matter to them. They just basically permit or don't permit it. But it just feels like that SQT has kind of crossed that gray boundary. I don't know. I just my thought was, would verifiers be useful in the mitigation markets?
I think it'd be interesting to do it. I mean, essentially, we're kind of trying to create a verifier to create a risk-based insurance product, right?
Right.
That's one of the things that RiverSHARED would like to do, and I think it'd be easy to say, okay, well, if we're doing that here, let's just go ahead and be a third party for these other markets as well, as long as we have people in RiverSHARED that have a passion for that. So how those things go.
So back to all these course offerings, that's good. That's a good launch. That's going to be an excellent course. Yeah, I want to get that word out. I think we actually might have some people near Rochester that would be interested. Jillian Cole's up that way, and she's really neat. She's fun to work with. She'd be fun to do bench camp with. And,
I think, is Jillian Cole in New York or is she in Michigan?
She's in New York, unless she relocated.
This so happens to be Rochester Hills, Michigan.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But we do have folks in Wisconsin and Michigan that would be interested too. So for sure. Yeah, love to see the details on that again. I'll look at it and circulate it. Other things, other thoughts moving forward, we got this conference coming up. Hey, I'm gonna make a quick plug. Paula and Fred Phillips have been working real hard to put together a really meaningful session at the national conference in June for First Nations peoples and their relationship with the land and stewardship. Paula, do you want to plug that at all? I'm really excited about the lineup. She might be busy, but she and Fred have aggregated quite a consortium of representatives from the Hopi, the Kokopa, I'm saying it wrong, maybe the Zuni, and Cherokee, and I can't remember the lady's name from, I want to say it's Eastern Band in Oregon somewhere or Washington. And yeah, it's a fantastic lineup of people, leaders, and excited to spend time down there in Louisiana at the Mississippi, and there's a really cool place called Something in the Woods, and it's a studio, and there's an artist there. And so I don't know, there's a lot of neat things revolving around it. I'm real excited about the upcoming conference and those guests. So I've been posting it and trying to get people directly to look at that. I think that's going to be really exciting. I love all the talks, national conference, but I really like to hear about people from people. So that'll be a good one, right, Paula? Right. So we do have a exciting speaker coming up. Guys, does anyone have any more on the topic of River Shared Future and talking about that? I haven't heard anything from Matt. He's tuning in. Any thoughts, Matt? Were you able to attend Gina's discussion last week?
Sorry, Josh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, for a minute I wondered if my computer was conked out. I was getting nobody. Yeah.
Nah,
Hey,
We can
how's it
still
going?
hear
just
you.
slow on the draw. I
That's okay.
attended last week. As far as thoughts moving forward, did you have anything specific you wanted me to comment on or try to remember?
No, just any flashes, anything that struck you as memorable. You like this, or this was news, or that was uncertain.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's exciting to me about RiverShared is the ability to bring um, resources together, people together, maybe even write grants and whatnot, and do some of these projects in these underserved communities as it relates to flood reduction by doing natural channel design. That project in, where was it at, Arkansas or Mississippi? I forget which one it was that Dave's been working on for a while. With that one, that one area that was, it's historically flooded. I can't remember what the
Yeah,
the
it
name
was a
was.
Eudora.
Yeah, there you go.
Eudora. Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
one of the
they,
big pushes that we've been presenting to people, Matt, on that is that we want to lead people towards ecosystem restoration, have it lead into economic restoration, and then ultimately have it lead into ecclesia restoration. So economy is essentially sharing one widget or one piece of paper or something with somebody else, and then having them share it with somebody else, and then having them share it with somebody else. So it's basically spreading around of a dollar. Uh, and ecclesia is creating value and cooperative around the gatherings associated with that. So it's kind of the ecclesia is that gathering idea. So that's kind of the passion right now I have with underserved communities and also not traditionally underserved communities, but there's a lot of push right now with underserved communities. And I would say that, I consider myself a politically homeless dude. I'd say some people like to throw money at a problem and it doesn't always work. Other people like to hold money back from a problem and expect that they'll just learn how to fix it themselves. And our thought is, well, if there's going to be money getting thrown at a project, then at what people consider a problem, then let's reframe it and say these communities aren't problems, but there's a potential there. And in that potential, there has to be guidance and mentorship to train people on what this green-based economy could look like in an area, opposed to just throwing money at it. So that's the exciting part that I think RiverShared can play a very unique role in, just because there's nobody else that really wants to be doing that with nature-based solutions for infrastructure problems.
Yeah, I think so too. I've seen something similar in Houston with a nonprofit I work with called Houston Wilderness. They do a lot of tree planting in underserved portions of the city and throughout the surrounding cities and whatnot. They do orchard plantings in order to help produce fresh fruit and food in underserved areas, marginal areas. Just it's amazing how someone with vision or an entity with vision can spark a movement in those areas, doing things that seem fairly small at first, but then they really do start to have a large impact as time goes by and the projects start to stack up. I've seen them do bioswales, things that are low impact green type infrastructure stuff or water quality and stormwater management. So just something that I've seen similar in Houston, and it's worked. And that group has been going now for over a decade. I think that's an exciting facet of RiverSHARED.
Yeah, I see an opportunity with RiverSHARED where, we're trying to figure out what it is that we can train people to be involved with in our industry at lower levels of expertise and experiences, and which ones require the higher levels. And traditionally, I think a lot of the stuff we just assumed, well, you need somebody with a higher level, so everybody needs to have a higher level. And that doesn't help much for rebuilding economies if you're saying, hey, we're doing green-based infrastructure in Arkansas and we're bringing down some goofy guy with red hair from Colorado to do it and send the money back to Colorado. So the thoughts are, what is it that we can train people locally to be a part of the money that's pouring into these communities for green-based infrastructure, opposed to just leaving people with green-based infrastructure that they really didn't want anyways. But they do want
Absolutely.
jobs and they do want an economy in the
Yeah.
place they live. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
You know,
So that's it for me, Josh.
I was gonna comment, sometimes it feels like engineering offers solution for answers to problems. And really the solution is more than the answer. It's not just A, B, C, D. I mean, what is gained through that shared activity of stewardship with whatever the community, whether it's a disadvantaged community or second chance community or First Nations. I think that if we've all done it, we've all got into the boots, into the mud up to our ass and worked, and we've put in live stakes and we've done the labor and rolled out matting and operated equipment, some people, but and it's just a real sense of community when you do that, that like that energy that you pour into what you're doing, and you're hopeful that the pouring in of this energy or the washing of these feet, this service, this serving, and you're not just doing it for an end result, for an answer. The solution is more, it's the process, and that solution of connecting the people in the place. I feel like until we really, okay, we've successfully generated a financial element that we can quantify and monetize the resource. Okay, it fits into instead of making that fit into our program, ultimately the program has to fit into that. And right now, as practitioners, we've been seeking ways to insert, creatively and say, hey, this is what you guys want, right? You want to make money. This is a money-making thing. You want to do good. This is a do-gooding thing. But it seems like and it or is moving and shifting, it seems organically, but it seems opening up the circle and everybody taking a few steps back and making it bigger and inviting more people to the circle is just it's making things better, and it's gonna make it better. And I was working, for instance, this is far-fetched from some of the people we've targeted, but a police officer in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, grew up on the Haw River, just low country boy. And he's been a police officer for 20 years. Well, now he's working for Charlotte Stormwater Services on a crew that does maintenance. So I'm out with him talking about what kind of maintenance you can do on this or that. And he's just thrilled and excited. He's like, I don't even feel like I have the expertise. And I was like, you have the enthusiasm and the interest, and that's really first and foremost. I don't know if I can learn this. I don't know what kind of experts you got to be. I mean, I can learn some things and do some things, but I'm just saying there's a place at this table for everybody. And it seems like the more people show up and what they bring, the more enlightening it's been for me coming out of my engineer's box saying, hey, here's the answer. This is all you guys need to do. You just need to figure out, get the money and do it. Well, it's more than that. It's getting the people and having the people be part of that solution. And I don't know. I feel like that's a trajectory that we're kind of riding. And maybe that's just my hopeful thinking, but that's my 2 cents, maybe 4 cents. Oh, with that soliloquy, Jordan is joining us here in the next couple minutes. If they haven't, do you know, Dave? Is that we have a guest?
Yeah, she's having a problem connecting right now.
That's fine. I'll talk to you a little bit since people are listening and doing other things. But I can say I had a really awesome introduction to Jordan earlier last week. Jordan Worth of Liberty Ministries. And